Hey chemistry students, today's tutorial is on ionic compound nomenclature or naming. So we're asked, given the formula, name the following ionic compounds. Now you may remember ionic compounds are named by the cation followed by the anion. You may remember as well that the cation keeps its original name unless it is a transition metal and falls in the middle, and we'll talk about that once we get to that question. Remember that monatomic anions keep the root of their name, drop the end, and add "ide" onto it. And that polyatomic groups have a special name that is found on the back of our chemistry reference sheet. So let's begin. So the first thing that I have Ca3 PO4 2. So I'm first going to name the cation followed by the anion. Remember, anions always come second in our chemical formula. So I'm going to find calcium on the periodic table. Calcium is in group 2, the alkaline earth metals. It doesn't fall in the transition metals or post-transition metals, so it's going just to keep its original name. So this is just calcium. Now for this polyatomic anion, I'm going to flip over and look on the back of my periodic table. And I'm going to search for it, and I find it here. So PO4 is phosphate. So my first ionic compound is calcium phosphate. All right, moving on to number 2. My cation is iron. My anion, I have bromine here. So I have 1 iron and 3 bromines. All right, so iron falls in the transition metals. It's in group 8, period 4. So I'm going to have to name it just a little differently. It's still going to keep that iron. But what's unique about the transition metals is that they can have more than one charge or oxidation state. So you may notice that iron can have a +2 charge or a +3. So I need to figure out which one of those I have. So one way of doing that is just looking at your compound. I know that this compound was formed between a cation, so an iron ion, and a bromide, or a bromine with a -1 charge. So if I want to figure out what the charge was of iron in the beginning, I can do a reverse crisscross. So this compound was formed between iron with a +3 charge and bromine or bromide with a -1, and we crisscrossed. So iron initially had a +3 charge. So I'm going to show that. So I'm going to put iron, and then in parentheses I'm going to, in Roman numerals, put its charge. So this is saying that iron with a +3 charge. Now remember, bromine is a monatomic anion, so 1 atom ion. So bromine falls in the halogens. So for monatomic anions, meaning they have a negative charge, we keep the first part of the name, so brome. I drop the "ine" and add "ide." So this becomes bromide. So my second ionic compound is iron 3 bromide. All right, last one, I have a potassium as my cation and a polyatomic anion group. So potassium falls in the alkali metals in group 1, so it's going to keep its name. So potassium. NO3 has a special name. I'm going to search for it on the back in my common ions list. There we go. NO3, there it is. So NO3 is nitrate. So this is potassium nitrate. So as always, continue practicing this on your own. Refer back to the steps in the PowerPoints. Also, refer to this video time and time again as you continue on. All right, as always, thank you for stopping by.